Hey guys, welcome to your new unit. In our new unit, we're going to learn about systems of equations. We will be learning about systems of equations and also systems of inequalities. But before we can effectively get into this unit, we are going to have to be sure that you understand some things that you should have learned in Algebra 1. Those things are, you have to understand the slope-intercept form and how to graph from slope-intercept form. So our learning target for this short lesson is I can arrange linear equations in slope-intercept form and graph. Here we go. So if you'll follow along with me on your guided notes and fill this out with me as we go, that will be fantastic. You'll see I give you an equation in number 1. It says y equals negative 7x minus 4. I hope that you remember from Algebra 1 that the slope is the number that we find that comes in front of x. So it's the coefficient of x. So we could say that our slope is negative 7. And our y-intercept is the number that comes at the end of the equation, including the sign. So our y-intercept here is negative 4. But if we write that as an ordered pair, it is the point 0, negative 4 on our coordinate plane. Question 2 says slope-intercept form is. And here I just want you to write down the generic form y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b, and hopefully that is something that sounds really familiar from Algebra 1 for you. M is the letter that represents the slope of the line, and b is the letter that represents the y-intercept of the line. So in problem 4 here, it says to graph the following line below, y equals negative 3x minus 8. Step 1, we have to make sure that our equation matches this form, y equals mx plus b. And when I look at this, I see y equals the number negative 3, then x, so that's like my mx, plus b. Okay, it's not a plus sign, it's a negative, but that's okay. That is my y-intercept of negative 8. So yes, I am in the correct form. The main thing I need to focus on is my y-coordinate all alone? Is the y variable all alone? Step 2, I'm ready to go on there to plot my y-intercept. The y-intercept we said here is going to be negative 8. So I'm going to go to the y-axis and plot a point at negative 8. So there is my y-intercept at negative 8. The next step is I'm supposed to use the slope to rise and run. Well, my slope is negative 3. We can think of that as being negative 3 over 1. Write it as a fraction with the rise over the run. So I'm going to rise negative 3 and run 1. Well, it looks like I don't have room here to go down 3 units. So I'm at negative 8, 1, 2, and I run out of room. So let me just rewrite this as 3 over negative 1. So I'm going to rise 3 and run in the negative direction 1 space. So to rise 3, I would go up 1, 2, 3 spaces, and then over 1 in the negative direction and land here. So there is my next point, and I will do the same thing again. I will go up 3, 1, 2, 3 spaces, and left 1 unit, and plot my next point. And I'll do that a few more times. 1, 2, 3, left 1. And that should get me a few good points on the line. Once you've plotted a few good points on the line, you should be ready to connect with as straight a line as possible. And we know when we graph, we connect with a line that contains arrows. So this has correctly graphed the equation y equals negative 3x minus 8. So for our next problem, number 5, the directions say to write the equation in slope-intercept form and then graph the line below. We're going to be looking at the same 3 steps to graph the line. So if you refer back to the previous steps, step 1 was to write the equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Well, this time, if you'll notice, the equation does not have y all alone. There's a matter of fact, there's all of this stuff over here with the y. So we need to get the y alone. So the first step to getting y alone is you need to subtract we need to add 5x to both sides. Sorry, I was trying to adjust my pen there. Negative 5x can be canceled with its additive inverse, positive 5x. So that can cancel, and I bring down my result, 3y is equal to, we do not have like terms here, we're going to write 5x in the front, so it's starting to look like mx, and then minus the 18. This is not completely slope-intercept form, though, because we still have the coefficient 3 in front of y. So since 3 is being multiplied by y, I will cancel that with division. So divide by 3 on both sides. That cancels the 3. We're getting the y alone now. 5 divided by 3 is 5/3 x, and negative 18 divided by 3 is negative 6. Notice that 3 does not divide evenly into 5, or we could say 5 is not exactly divisible by 3, so that's the reason we just write it as the fraction 5/3. So here is my equation in slope-intercept form. Now I should be ready to graph. My y-intercept is negative 6, so we can plot a point at negative 6 on the y-axis, and our slope is 5/3. So from negative 6, we're going to rise 5 units and run 3 in the positive direction, which puts us at a landing point here. And then we could do that again. Rise 5 and run 3. And then, of course, we should connect with a straight line and arrows. And this is how we graph an equation of a line. Please add this as example 6 or problem 6 to the back of your guided notes. And what we're going to do is just do a couple more practice problems where we are just arranging the equation to slope-intercept form. So first, I know I need the y alone, so I need to make the 2x cancel. How do I cancel a positive 2x? With the additive inverse, negative 2x. So I'm subtracting 2x on both sides. Bring down my result, negative 3y is equal to negative 2x. That's a positive 12. Negative 2x and 12 are not like terms, so they don't combine. We just bring them down beside each other. Now, I still need the y all alone. Cancel the multiplication by negative 3 with division by negative 3. So divide by negative 3 on both sides. And negative 2 divided by negative 3, I hope we know that negative divided by negative is going to give us positive 2/3. And 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. Here is my slope-intercept form of that equation. We're going to practice slope-intercept form one more time. Again, we need to write this equation in slope-intercept form. So to practice that, we'll solve for y. We want to get the y alone, so I'm going to need to cancel out this term, negative 4x. So to cancel a negative 4x, I'm going to use the additive inverse of negative 4x, which is positive 4x. And what I do on the left side of the equation, I'm going to also do on the right side of the equation. Bring down what's remaining. We have a negative y is equal to positive 4x plus 6, because the 6 was positive. And I still need the y to be completely isolated. So I have a negative in front of y. That indicates we have a coefficient negative 1 y. So I need to divide by negative 1 on both sides. And that will give me 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4x. 6 divided by negative 1 is negative 6. Here is my equation, y equals negative 4x minus 6 in slope-intercept form. So I want to remind you one more time that our learning target for this short lesson is I can arrange linear equations in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, and graph. And for graphing, we had 3 steps. Put in slope-intercept form, plot b, the y-intercept, and use the slope to rise and run. So if you need reviewing on this skill, I suggest that you watch this video a few times. You are going to need it throughout the rest of this unit. Graphing is something that you are going to need for the rest of the school year. So good luck.